Good evening and welcome back to another video. It's Stephen here. The evening after Manchester City's first Champions League game of this season. It was a bore draw, a 0-0 draw against Inter Milan, who got what they wanted, probably a point at the Etihad. I don't know where it leaves us. We will see. I'm still not a fan of this format. It's just a big open pot of teams, but it doesn't matter because we're going to talk about the actual game today and what that game meant in terms of our performance and where we're at right now, because I think there's still plenty of interesting narratives, and to be honest, the game wasn't actually that bad. It was just a weird night of football, but the game itself, it was interesting, and Inter definitely deserves some credit for making it very difficult for Manchester City, because that's what they're very good at doing. But there was, interesting narratives to be had from that game, and I will talk about them tonight. Of course, this is just 5 things that I want to take from that game. I'll probably loosely mention more than 5 individuals because I can do. I make the rules on this channel. Deal with it if you don't want to. But there is the match reaction from last night where I wasn't really in the match. Look, I'll be honest. I make these videos more or less on a daily basis. I've been doing this for an awful long time. Sometimes you're not in the mood because I'm human. So my video last night wasn't actually that great post full time. I was just a bit frustrated. I think I wasn't in a great mood. I was a bit tired and all that kind of stuff. I feel a lot more calmer now about it all. I just didn't enjoy the vibes from last night at all. But I'm definitely much more relaxed about it today, even though it hasn't been obviously all plain sailing and good news today. And I'll get onto the elephant in the room in a little bit that Joel's already mentioned in the chat there. But still, I feel in the right headspace to approach the game right now. So anyway, if you are new to the channel, please give the video a like and subscribe if you are enjoying this kind of content. It does mean the world to me. Help support a fellow Manchester City fan, a lifelong City fan, and a content creator making these videos for the absolute big cost of nothing. If you can help support, it would be really, really appreciated. Give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. There is a sponsor on this video today. I want to go to this genuinely absurd competition. Like, I do a lot of this stuff with football prizes, but this is by far the most exciting one I've ever seen. That could be you there. See those 2 silhouettes? You'd be as taller than Kyle Walker and the referees and everyone. That a giant PS5 on screen. No, that could be you as well there. You could be on the pitch. Yes, against Southampton in the centre circle. Look, it costs. There's loads of tickets, obviously, but £2.95 to enter. Look at this, man. Let me just quickly show you what you can get, what you can win here. More information. So basically, you get VIP access onto the pitch in the centre circle moments before kickoff. Official photographs with club captains on the pitch. You'll see the teams in the glass tunnel, so the tunnel club is great if you've never been before. You go pitch side to watch the players warm up. You'll have heated seats located directly behind the benches, post-match interviews and more, and 5-course fine dining experience. It's phenomenal, man. It's literally as bougie as it gets at a football ground. If you want to win that, drop £2.95 right now in the link in the description below to enter, and you could be on the pitch living your dreams and getting photos with the captains and all that kind of stuff. It would be absolutely wonderful. A phenomenal experience. I would love to win that too myself. I might just enter it as well. Obviously, a lot of tickets there, but at the same time, only 133 entries so far, so your odds are good. It's a very exciting opportunity, and that costs an awful lot of money. Head to Football Prizes right now to enter. Fingers crossed one of you guys wins it. It'd be great if an Esteemed Kompany watcher wins that prize. Fingers crossed you do. Go to the link in the description, and good luck to all who enter. So let's start right now with the first point that I want to talk about. And it's about the man that we have to talk about, Phil Foden. The return of Phil Foden. And it's very timely because, as Joe pointed out in the chat, Kevin De Bruyne is going to be out for Sunday. Of course, he went off at half-time. Sadly, it's been confirmed that he will miss the Arsenal game as a precaution. It doesn't look like it's going to be a long-term injury, but City have no interest in forcing Kevin De Bruyne to play because we've got Phil Foden, we've got Gundogan, we've got options right there. They're going to rest him sensibly. So with our ginger genius Kevin De Bruyne against Arsenal, the return of Phil Foden is absolutely even more important. Phil Foden offers a very different way to break down a team than Kevin De Bruyne, but the cameo from Phil Foden was still fun. I think he was a little bit rusty, if I'm being honest. Phil was a little bit snatchy at shots. You could tell he was desperate to get a goal, to get his season going, essentially. And I understand that. I do feel he was a little bit erratic when he came on the pitch. But you can tell that the City's intricate football was a lot probably sharper with Phil on the pitch. Guardiola himself said he's one of the best that we've got in the pockets, Phil Foden. And I think Phil's ability to step up in a big game as well. Look, he always does, Phil. He's absolutely excellent. And I feel like against Arsenal, they're going to defend very deeply. And I'll get onto that in a bit more detail. we're going to need Phil Foden's intuition. It's absolutely time for him to play. And what I really enjoyed as well about Phil Foden's return was that he did play central for what it's worth. I know De Bruyne came off, but, Bernardo Silva's been so good recently in the middle. I wouldn't have been surprised if Guardiola had decided to keep Bernardo in the middle and put Phil out wide on the right, cutting in. We've seen that plenty of times, but it was a nod to last season and maybe a final acceptance that Phil Foden is actually a central midfielder, We've been waiting for an awful long time for Phil to actually make that transition. It happened last season. We weren't sure if it was going to be permanent, but it looks like it's going to be, And Phil Foden is the heir apparent to Kevin De Bruyne. It's easy to forget just how good he is when we haven't seen him play for a long time. And, of course, his England form wasn't great. But Phil Foden is a special footballer, a PFA Player of the Year, special level footballer. And I can't wait to see him up against Arsenal. I feel like he's ready, And obviously with the De Bruyne injury, it's very nicely timed that Phil Foden is ready. We're going to need him. Big game, Phil. I love you, man. Fingers crossed we'll see him back against Arsenal at his very, very best. And there was the answer to the question that I posed on Twitter that caused a meltdown when I said, there's a nice dynamic right now. It'd be interesting to see how Phil Foden gets back into the team because I'm not sure. What I meant by that was, right now we're playing quite well. We were playing quite well. And the dynamic, what I meant by that is we've got wingers on the pitch. And what I meant by how will he get back into the team is literally how. Is he going to be out wide? Is he going to be through the middle? I just didn't know what he was going to do. It was such a genuine question and people jumped down my throat on it, which was crazy, as if I was insulting Phil Foden, as if I would ever insult Phil Foden. The man knows me, as if I'd ever do that, But the answer has been given. It's back in the middle because of De Bruyne's injury. But that's where the solution lies and I can't wait to see how it goes. Second thing I want to talk about is Vardal. Look, I know City, he wasn't really the headline, but I want to talk about Vardal again, man. He's just so joyous to watch as a footballer, Josko Vardal. And I'm not biased. It's not just because I've got the same haircut and the beard here, that I want to talk about him. No, it's because he's a phenomenal footballer. Josko Vardal, it just seems to get better and better and better. An absolute, look, it's a cliche, but the Rolls Royce term is used a lot about footballers, but Vardal suits that down to a T. Look, at times last night, I wasn't sure if he was playing centre-back, left winger, or DM. He's a hybrid player. He's a hybrid player of immense quality. And by the way, people in the chat, look, I'm talking about Vardal right now, so it's not a time to talk about McAtee. And by the way, you've only just commented that, so why would you say, why don't you address the chat as if it's been 10 minutes? You commented 30 seconds ago, mate. It's a bit rude to demand someone to reply to your comment straight away. I'm busy, you may have noticed. I'll get onto people's comments towards the end, by the way. I'll get onto people's comments at the end, but right now I don't want to just randomly talk about McAtee during the Vardal point, which I think is absolutely fair, mate, if you give me the benefit of the doubt here, So, yeah, Vardal, look, I thought he was absolutely special. Just genuinely, the way he gets forward, the way he glides past midfield, he doesn't really put a foot wrong. He's a wonderful footballer. He really is. The composure that he's got. His second season, he's so much more at ease in his own skin. We just have to give him a little bit of time, and he got that time, and look how good he's going to be. Look, I think Vardal is, I love watching him play. Obviously, that header as well, the covering header, the way he got forward. There was one bit where Savinho should have picked him out for a return pass when he darted past multiple people from midfield. And if he got that return pass, he would have been through on goal. He didn't get it, annoyingly. But Josko Vardal, look, there's not a single team in the world that wouldn't use him. He's special. He absolutely is, and I love the man. Vardal, I love you, my friend. Barcelona losing, by the way. Interesting stuff there. It won't last. I'm not sure it even matters, because they'll go through anyway. The third thing I want to talk about was that our best back four? I feel like it might be right now. Do let me know in the chat. Obviously, you can argue about Nathan Ake returning, but I would argue, given what I've just said about Josko Vardal, the balance is better creatively with Josko Vardal. And look, this man, Ruben Diaz, is in really good form again. Akanji, brilliant as well. Rico Lewis, I thought Rico once again showed why he's in the team right now. So good. And I know we conceded a few chances, by the way, but the chances weren't necessarily the defender's fault. It was once again being open defensively in midfield. It's too easy, man. It's too easy to get at our back four. The back four aren't the problem. It's getting at the back four, where Rodri, and look, Rodri's just returned. He was a little bit sloppy, uncharacteristically so in that first half. He got better in the second half. He really was. He gave the ball away a couple of times, and we got broken at a few times a bit too easily. But the defenders did the best they could in very tricky circumstances. Ruben Diaz has been in really good form since the start of the season. He looks back to his best. Kanji's just brilliant right now. I don't think Stones can get into it. I think he's not quite as sharp as these two. Rico, to me, is ahead of Kyle Walker, and I think Josko is the obvious choice at left back. You could argue Ake too. Kyle might play against Arsenal. He might do because of Martinelli and all that kind of stuff. But I would still play Rico. I think tactically, defensively, creatively, I think Rico offers just so much, especially if we're going to play against low blocks, because against Arsenal, they're going to defend like dogs, as they do. And Rico offers so much versatility that, to me, this is our best back four. I think it's got a bit of everything. You've got the zestful brilliance of Rico Lewis. And the reason I use the word zestful is he's just everywhere. He's just popping off. He's just full of energy and vibrancy and creativity. You've got the elegance of Josko Vardal covering that entire left-hand side. You've got the steeliness of this man here to my side, Ruben Diaz. You've got a Kanji who's just an absolute monster. Yeah, I think he's brilliant. Thank you very much, Iptris. Who read my post about yesterday's game. I did a big post yesterday on Blue Moon Forum. I linked to it on Twitter as well. But I felt disenchanted from the football yesterday. Not the football, the actual game, the experience. I did feel disenchanted by the whole mood around the game and the very heavy leaning on money. And I know that's ironic from a City fan, but what I mean about it was buying a kit at home, away kit at home because of money for a band to advertise them. The new competition feels like it's just exuding money and money grabbing money and pricing fans out. It just felt all very commercial to me. I didn't enjoy the feel yesterday. Anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is the low block frustration, because it's very relevant right now given the game we've got next. The defensive terrorist Mikel Arteta. Arsenal are going to stink the place out at the Etihad. They're going to defend deep. They're going to be deeper than that submarine that exploded. That's how deep they're going to be, man. They're going to be so deep. It's going to be utterly grim to watch Arsenal come back and just try and defend the life out of their box. They'll go forward. They've got Saka and co. But they're going to be deep, man. And that low block frustration is evident. And how would you solve that? Look, I think we've seen hints at the solution. I think City were much better in the second half, I think when you look at it, there was a bit where Jack Grealish linked up with Gundogan and Foden and Vardal. Lovely one-touch football that fed Foden in the centre. Should have scored, missed his chance. Great tiki-taka, as they call it. One-touch football. And then, of course, you look at the wing play. Doku came on the right. Beat his man, got a great cross in. Gundogan should have scored. There was another cross as well from one side that Gundogan should have scored as well. And that frustration, we're used to it. And I think, to be honest, we get better at beating it and playing it as the season goes on because we're more fluid, We are much more... we're much more... it's one of those things where we're much better at handling it when the rhythm is there, when we've greased the gears and all that kind of stuff. And I think it is hard. It's very hard, It's very hard to break down a team as tough as Inter. It's very hard to do it when you've not got much practice. And all the players are still sort of, bedding in for the season. Foden in particular, Gundogan returns, Savinho's new, Doku, not played much football recently. Grealish returning from injury. Not injury, just sort of getting his form back. Like, it's hard, is what I'm saying, Having said that, I don't think we were bad. We should have won that game, I would say, in the end. We had the chances. I'm going to address Cyan Mays' comment there in a minute because I entirely disagree, my friend. But I actually feel like, we did actually knock on the door. We just missed the chances. Ultimately, I think City should have won. Gundogan had 2 sitters. Foden had a big chance. We created the big chances. And in games like that, when you play against teams like Inter, you've got to be clinical. We didn't feed Haaland. And do you know what? If we can't get the ball to Haaland, you're going to have individual brilliance. And how do you beat that? You need tricky wingers. You need people who can cross the ball. You need tight space technicians. You need individual brilliance, basically. You need individual brilliance. And I think we were so close to doing that. We're capable of doing it. And I think if we're going to beat Arsenal, we're going to need individual brilliance to either get the goal or free up Haaland to find a chance as well. Finally, look, I think we need all our wingers throughout the season. It's really obvious, but to me, I saw a lot of people, including someone in the chat right now, down on Grealish. I thought Grealish was good yesterday. I thought Grealish was... Look, I saw someone put it very, very smartly on Twitter. Someone said Jack Grealish makes the game easier for his teammates, and I think that's actually really, really true. I don't think it's a coincidence that Guardiola left Grealish on the pitch last night. Savinho came up because I thought Savinho, as much as I really enjoy him, I thought Savinho was a bit erratic. I think his decision making was poor. Doku came on and actually was really good, actually. Doku kept creating a couple of chances. Look, I think he was good. And I do feel as well like, Doku on the right is an option. If you want to get across like that, he'll beat his man. And I think, to be honest, like, I thought Jack Grealish had a good game. He created the most chances on the pitch. He created 4 chances. People just, it's not his fault people missed those chances. Grealish was actually, he did his job. He's not like, I was going to say he's not sexy. I mean, he is, clearly. When we look at the man, he's beautiful. But I meant as a footballer, like, he's not like a guy who's going to beat 3 or 4 people. But I think he was, you can talk about small chances, but they're still chances, mate. Like the people created them, and like I thought Grealish was good. I think he offers something. I'm not saying he was sensational, but I thought he was effective, and I thought Doku was effective. Look, I think we're going to need all of them, is what I'm getting at. I think there's many different ways to win, and I feel like, the wingers have been let down for assists a little bit. Doku in particular, should have 3 or 4 assists already this season. He's been let down, in my personal opinion. And I don't think City looked awful at all. I think people are overreacting a little bit. Once again, it's Inter Milan. Like, in the first Champions League game of the season. It was a tough game. And once again, like, I think we forget that City start the season pretty erratically. We've actually started the season better than we ever do under Guardiola. We're actually winning games, This one was a draw, but yeah. And to be honest, I don't really feel a strike situation. Look, someone mentioned Kyogo in the chat. If we're not getting the ball to Haaland, we're not getting the ball to Kyogo. The point is, they're marking the strikers. They had 6 men around Haaland. They do the same for any striker. It's going to have to come from other people. Foden. Gundogan's got to score his chances. We created the chances. We just didn't take them. Foden missed chances. Gundogan missed chances. Bernardo Silva scuffed an air shot from 6 yards out after Bruyne picked him out. I don't see Esteemed see anything worrying. I see a typical early Manchester City game against a very tough opponent. I actually predicted a draw in my preview because I knew it was going to happen. I knew it would be difficult. Inter getting a bit of pride. And I think we were still the better team overall, Frustrating first half, but it is what it is. Anyway, guys, that's what I took from the game. I think Foden's return is very, very timely. We're going to need it. We're going to need his individual risk against Arsenal. Vardal is a very special footballer. It's a pleasure to watch him. That, in my opinion, is our best back four. I think it is. A little bit of frustration. We'll have to solve it again. I'm sure we will do. We always find a way. And I think we need all our wingers. Don't forget as well, if you want to win this incredible opportunity, head to Football Prizes. Link in the description right now. Look, you could be on the pitch getting a photograph ahead of the captain, Kyle Walker, or De Bruyne, whoever's on the pitch, against Southampton. It'll be phenomenal. Get involved. Link in the description below. Guys, thanks very much. You're all wonderful. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to read some comments, actually. At the start, someone said, why is Pep not using McAtee? Because McAtee is still a young player. He'll play against Watford. He's got to prove himself, man. You can't just return from loan from Sheffield United and walk straight back into the team. He'll get his chance against Watford. He'll get his chance in a 70-game season at some point. Then he'll have to take it. But for now, Guardiola's leading on the more senior players, and I get that and I understand that. The young lads will get a chance when they need the chance. You don't need to play the young lads against. Look, the start of the season's been good. I think some people are feeling quite negative for some reason. We've won every league game. We've won a Community Shield, and we drew against Inter Milan. Fucking shoot me. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? So it's like, Inter Milan are a very good side. They're the best side we'll face probably in this group stage, so to speak. And then we'll get through, It'll be absolutely fine, Guys, thanks very much for watching this. Give the video a like, subscribe, enter that competition. Link in the description below. Catch you tomorrow in a bit. Bye-bye.